So, digital marketing, what is it? It's a group of people that's gathering on a platform in a space. What do we call that? It's a party. It's really that easy. It's a party. You are trying to throw the ultimate party and get the coolest people there and try and make this a memorable space, a memorable event. And as soon as you think of it like that, it becomes a lot less scary and a lot easier to manage. So we want to throw a party. What do we need to do? Step one, create the perfect environment, right? You find a venue, which is our platforms. How many people look at social media and think, okay, I have to be here, I have to be there, I have to be everywhere. What are my options? How many of you think that Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, those are the only ones? It's quite a few. Yes, right there where you're sitting. I can't see you, just nod. These are your options, guys. Yes, this is really the amount of social media platforms available today. Okay, Google Plus died a very sad death, which we are very kind of grateful for in the industry. But all of these things are considered social media platforms. And this is where I see the wheels come off. Whenever I consult small businesses, the first thing I look at, I call it a SOS. It's called a state of social. I go in, I look at your platforms, I look at where you are, and everybody keeps telling me, but Liz, we need to be everywhere. You don't. You really don't need to be everywhere. And this is where digital marketing becomes extremely overwhelming, because you have this idea as a small business that you need to have a presence absolutely everywhere. You don't. It's a secret. Secret's out. You don't have to be everywhere, and there's a very good reason for it. Some people don't even need a website. You only need one or two platforms. So you are spending tremendous amount of time and energy and money, because websites don't come cheap, on things that you essentially don't need and that you're not going to need for the first few years of your business. So when I was in a very fortunate position, and I am very grateful for the curiosity that I've been blessed with in life. I didn't study marketing. I don't have a degree in anything. The only thing I have is curiosity. So I taught myself how to build websites. I taught myself how to graphic design. All of it with this thing, YouTube. I YouTubed my way to where I am today, and the will to want to. So you can teach yourself how to build a website, which is going to save you a cost if you want to. If you need to, not if you want to, if you need to, then you're going to start looking at all these other platforms, and you're going to unpack it and decide who you want to talk to. So when you look at your social media platforms, it's very important to look at your product and not your people. So you are selling a problem, or you're selling a solution to a problem. So what you need to do is not sell the solution. You need to sell the problem, because a problem is a lot more relatable than the solution. So figure out where people are complaining about the problem they are having that you have the solution to, because that's the platform you need to be on. So if you look at platforms like People, I love comparing the social media platforms to a family dinner. So you have the brother with the MBA that cannot shut up about the fact that he has an MBA. That's LinkedIn. You have the little sister that is constantly changing her outfit, talking about how red her lipstick is and what shade of makeup she's wearing today. That's TikTok and Instagram. Those are your beauty brands. Those are your fun, your food, very chatty. Then you have Twitter. Twitter is the very opinionated uncle in the corner. Always has something to say about everything, thinks that he knows everything because somebody told him something. That's Twitter. Very, very irritable platform. There's very few brands that actually belong on Twitter. So Facebook is the mom and dad. They are the safe players. They're there. They kind of have an interest in everybody, but they're the older kind of generation. It's not as fast moving as all of the other platforms. If you look at the demographics on these platforms, they all very much sit within the current 30 odd range, but then they have these peaks. TikTok has a peak in the 18 to 25-year-olds, but also the older people. Then you look at not within only the age demographics, you look at the actual demographics of it. And you'll see that some of the older white people and younger black people are on TikTok. So that's a very odd combination. Then you look at Facebook and it's only older white people on Facebook. So you need to kind of understand what you are selling, which demographic you would like to reach, and then realize where you need to be. The problem is you're trying to be everywhere and you're trying to say exactly the same thing to everybody. And that is also where small businesses are falling down. I have an analogy that I use when it comes to content being on the wrong platforms. If you are at a 21st or a wedding and your dad gets up and he starts doing the Macarena, you want to die. No, nobody wants to see that. That is what other people are looking at you when your content is on a platform it shouldn't be. It's like, what are they doing here? Why are you invading my space? And immediately, that's what it feels like. It feels like an advert. Now you're invading my space where I am sitting here scrolling nice and calmly and you are throwing ads at me. Don't do that. So, because I'm a Disney nerd, I love this analogy as well. Pitching up with the wrong content on the wrong platform, it's like trying to comb your hair with a fork. It's really not going to work. Ariel wants to be where the people are, and then she gets there and she starts combing her hair with it. Just cringe. Not going to work. I just employed Gen Z, so I have a very colorful vocabulary that includes words like cringe. It's fun. You should get a Gen Z if you don't have one of those. I love her. She keeps me on trend. So when it comes to platforms, kind of final thoughts on platforms, don't let that be your stumbling block, and don't let that be the reason why you're neglecting your content creation, which is part 2 that we're going to get into now. So looking at your platforms, figure out who it is that you want to reach. Look at the platforms and where you are. If you are your target market, look at the platforms you engage with. I love to call it natural habitat marketing. You have to blend in seamlessly in these platforms. You need to look like you belong there. If you are trying to write short stories with technical explanations on Facebook, it won't work because that's a LinkedIn approach. If you are going to try and do fun, short little videos, but put them on Twitter, it's not going to work. That's a TikTok approach. So you need to understand who it is that's going to be interacting with your content on that platform. And then ask yourself, are those the people that I want to expose my brand to? Are those the people that are going to convert into clients or customers, going to buy my things or not? Understand your platforms, and that is going to vastly open up your content opportunities and make you think about how you sell your product. If you have a platform that's currently not serving you, close it down. It means it's not working. Don't be afraid to walk away from platforms. I have closed many accounts when I got in for consulting jobs. And the people then got free time focusing on the platforms where their consumers were actually active. So take a good hard look at your platforms and really see if you need to be everywhere, because I can promise you 100% now, if you have 2 out of the 5 big ones, you're good. You don't have to do all 5. And you don't have to have a website when you started out. Because I taught myself how to build websites, I could build my own one-pager just to get it up and running, and it was quite easy. Things like WordPress make it very easy and affordable to put up a one-page. I built my current website in an evening, and it was done. We're going to build something enticing and meaningful. We're going to put up some balloons, we're going to put a pot plant here, we're going to put out some chip and dip, maybe some music, and we're going to create something enticing. Otherwise, people are going to pitch up to an empty room. So how do you do that? That is your content. The main reason for content and for getting people to this party, what do you want to do? You essentially want to build meaningful connections, because through meaningful connections, you can build a brand that is trusted, a brand that is known, and a brand that's really going to stand out. So how do we do this? Content builds relationships. Relationships are built on trust, and trust drives revenue. So everything ties back into what you are saying. So the people are here, they're at the party. What are you doing? You need to give them something cool. Okay. Really easy. Content is a conversation. A conversation is a connection. A connection, when done properly, instills emotion, and an emotion creates loyalty. And that is how you ride this whole little train down to creating content that is actually building brand loyalty and keeping people at your party. If I pitch up at a party and it's boring, or it doesn't relate to me, or the people are a little weird, I'm going to leave. There's no loyalty. But if you can start a conversation with me that creates a connection, instills an emotion, I'm going to stay there, because now I'm part of it. I am in it. And that is how your content needs to be. So throughout the years, and everybody I've worked with knows Liz 4 R's. Relevant, reliable, relatable, and real. This is what you need to aim for when you create any piece of content, whether it is a social media post, whether it is a paragraph on your website, a one-liner on your flyer. If you can do this in your marketing communication, it'll be a lot easier for your consumers to connect to your brand. You need to be relevant. When the Super Bowl hit, the amount of people that was on that trend, it's incredible. Everybody was doing the little flappy dance. Why? Because it was relevant. Brands were trying to force fit things into the Super Bowl because it blew up. Some people got it right, others didn't, but at least they tried. It needs to be reliable. So I need to have a track record that you know what you're talking about. So every now and then, I don't like talking about I'm not a bragger in any way, but I leave that for people like Billy that intro me, and then I go, you see, this chick sounds cool. Oh no, wait, that's me. So you need to show your pedigree every now and then, because that makes you reliable. You would not be here listening to me if it wasn't for my pedigree. If they just said there's this crazy chick with purple hair that's going to give you a bunch of slides, you wouldn't have pitched, right? But reliability is through your legacy. If your company has been around for a while, if you have a certain amount of experience that you bring to the table, if you've got qualifications in what you do, if you've got big clients under your belt. Why do you think I start with a slide that shows brands like Prime Circle, like Mnet, like those things? Like, those are the things that instill reliability. Then you need to be relatable. If you're going to speak to single moms, understand single moms. If you're going to speak to football fans, speak to football fans and understand them, understand their struggles, understand their problems before you start selling them solutions. Nobody likes a product that is shoved down our throats on technical details and how many grams per what. Like, really make it relatable to me. And then real. Show the dark side. Show the struggles. A lot of my social content on Rabbit is videos of me sitting here at 2 a.m. working, because that's the hustle. Through that, I am showcasing that I'm real. It is relatable to other business owners who's trying to do stuff. It's relevant because we're all going through a tough time at the moment. And it's reliable because, well, I'm reliable. But Lizzie's 4 R's will never ever steer you wrong if you look at the content. Real people on brands as well. If you showcase the people behind the scenes. I have seen this in every single brand that I've worked on. We can do the most beautifully designed posts and then put a picture up of an actual human, and not a Shutterstock human, the people that work there. It outperforms every other piece of content by 4 or 5 times, because people want to see the real business. I am the real business. That's why my face is all over my Instagram. And that's why I told my girls last week to do a post showing their faces on Instagram, because people buy from people. And the only way you do that is through real content. So now the fun little question. Everybody knows this face. I grew up with this face. This is a really cool fun fact that's going to make you think differently about your content. Mr. Bean has been around for ages. We all know Mr. Bean. If you don't, you need to go and Google it right now. So by yourself right there, usually this is an audience participation and I throw smarties at people if they're right, but nobody's ever right. Can you guess how many episodes of Mr. Bean has been created? Just by yourself, quickly give it a gander. Okay? The answer is only 15. I can sit here and I bet you that most of you were thinking in the hundreds. It must be over 30 or 80 or 100 episodes. No. Mr. Bean has only created 15 episodes, but it was done so well that it makes you think that there was so much more. Why? Because it was relevant, it was real, it was relatable, it was really funny. That should be a 5th R. It was really funny, but it hit those 4 R's perfectly. And that just goes to show you, it is always quality over quantity. When it comes to your content creation, you don't have to put out a post every single day. Everybody listen to me and look at me right here. You don't have to post every day. Please don't. You're spamming people. You can get away with a social media presence of twice a week. Happiness. As long as those 2 posts are properly thought out. And it's not happy blue lighter day. Happy cupcake day. If you're in mining and you're posting about happy cupcake day, that is neither relevant, relatable, real, or reliable. And it is serving no purpose to your business. It is spam. So if you put out quality content and not just content to make your page look active and busy, you're going to see a drastic improvement in the quality of people that are attracted to your page. Because I'm telling you now, there are 40 Happy Cupcake Day posts popping up on Facebook when it's Happy Cupcake Day. Don't be one of those brands. Look at the things that make you stop on social media. And now we're going back to natural habitat marketing. What are the things that make you stop? What are the things that interest you? Look at how that content is put together, because that is what's going to make you stop. Guess what? The people you are selling to, they're also humans. They also have kids and grandkids and stuff. They are also humans. That's going to make them stop. That's going to interest them as well. So put out less content, but make it impactful. I am very, very passionate about content pillars that are rooted in business objectives. So if you have a content piece, it always needs to speak back to the business. And this is how you write it. This is the anatomy of a content piece for me. You need to write hook, line, and sinker, because that's how you go fishing. I love fishing. So hook, that's the first line in your content copy. Hook them. What is going to make me stop? Let's say I'm Labello. I want to sell this blue Labello, and I need to write a post. My hook, it's winter, so relatable. It's real. Cracked lips. Cracked lips getting the better of you. Is winter leaving your lips looking like the Sahara? That's your hook. That's going to make, yes, that's me. I'm going to stop. Now your line. Feed them your line. What is your solution? Labello Hydrate Hydro Care. Feels like a fresh burst of water splashed on your face. Hydrates your lips. And then your sinker. Make it sink in. What is the call to action? Get it here now. Sells it immediately. What people are doing, what I'm seeing people are doing is, did you know that Labello has an SPF 15, so when you go out in the sun, it protects you from, I don't care. I've immediately lost interest in that post. Hook, line, sinker. Perfect. You're relating to me. You're giving me the solution by highlighting the problem that I'm having without telling me you're the solution. and then telling me how to get your solution. Hook, line, and sinker. That's how I write all my content pieces. So now we have cool content, but we need pictures and stuff to put with it. Now you're thinking, yo, Liz, okay, great. Now I can write my own content, but I'm not a graphic designer. I don't have Photoshop and all these fancy things. You don't need them. There are absolutely incredible platforms. As a graphic designer myself, I opened Photoshop for the first time in 3 months last week because it had one feature that I couldn't do on Canva. Canva is one of the best tools. Why? Because it was built by a graphic designer. This girl sits in Australia. She is earning mad bucks, but I love her for this platform. I have been obsessed with Canva since it came out 8 odd years ago that this was launched, and it is getting better and better and better every day. The capabilities that this platform has will make you fire your graphic designer if you have one. I use it every single day. CapCut is my video editor. I have produced videos on CapCut that look like I gave it to a studio. It has got transitions, it's got motion animated text. It is really great. You can import sound, you can mix your sound, you can put little fades on it. It is absolutely incredible. With this combination, I refuse to believe that you can't make your own content pieces. It is really, take a Saturday, and again, YouTube is your friend here. We live in such a beautiful age of technology where we can teach each other how to do stuff via videos on YouTube. I have built my entire career off of these 2 lines. You don't have to be good. You just need to be convincing. So remember that. So what is the best content that people are creating right now? Videos. That's the big trend. Everybody is creating videos. What do you spend your time on social media? Do you watch videos or do you look at photos? Again, natural habitat marketing. Go back to how you are consuming social media, because we are selling to people who are also just people. You're probably selling to your neighbor. So videos, because that's what we're watching, right? I lose hours on TikTok. It's a black hole. But videos. So why should we be making videos? This is the only stats I'm going to throw at you. The rest of it is just real streetwise information. I've got a doctorate in streetwise. Okay. Users will retain 95% of a message watched on a video and only 10% read in text. This does not mean you need to put your entire selling proposition in a video. Give them 2 lines, and I'll show you that in 1 second. 85% of videos on Facebook are played without sound. Yet, 80% of Facebook stories that have sound or voiceovers drive better lower funnel results. Why? Because you're scrolling through your feed. The last thing you expect there is a video with sound. I hate it. But on stories, you play it with sound. It's a very strange kind of human behavior. I don't know why. I'm not a psychiatrist. But stories is where it's at. 62% of users said that they've become more interested in a brand after seeing it in stories. So not only are we making videos here, we're making stories. Why stories? Because it looks like TikTok. And TikTok is the new hot chick in the club that everybody wants to buy a drink for. So TikTok and stories is where it's at. I know a bunch of people who are not on social media apart from what? Instagram stories and reels. Then there's YouTube Shorts, which looks exactly like that. Facebook now has reels. Everybody is trying to do what TikTok did, because when TikTok came into the market, it disrupted it. So all the other platforms had to adjust. So that's what I'm saying. If they're going to offer live streaming, give it a few months. The others are going to follow. Believe me, they watch each other very carefully. So, what is the most successful video ever made? The last time I asked this question at a conference, somebody told me Gangnam Style, and somebody told me Mickey Mouse video or whatever. It's not. It's the Avengers Endgame. And it is a video. It's a 3-hour-long video, but it's a video. Why is it the most successful video ever made? Because they spent 400 million making it. It gave them 2.5 billion. If that is not success, I'm giving up right now. I'm going to become a nun. So why was this the most successful video ever made? And if you look at it and you break it down, it is essentially just a whole bunch of small moments and short videos stitched together into a 3-hour-long video. So every scene is a short video that did something. So what did they do? They connected. They connected visually and they connected emotionally. Every single scene in that movie grabbed you, either through visuals or through an emotion, and they were what? Relevant, reliable, relatable, and real. So, remember when I told you that you didn't need a lot? You just need your hook, line, and sinker. So here's a case study. It's one of my favorite videos. It's unfortunately not one of my favorite teams at the moment. But I love this video for 2 reasons that I'll give you after you've watched it. It's blue. What else matters? If you're a Chelsea fan like me, I want that kit. Do I know what it looks like after that video? No. Do I want it? Yes. Why? Because it connected to me visually and emotionally. I believe that football clubs have one of the most difficult jobs in marketing ever, because they are selling something. They're selling loyalty. Loyalty that could, and after this season should, be switched almost instantly. But yeah, they are selling a product that you can replace for free. It's not like I am an iPhone user and now I no longer like iPhone, but it's going to cost me 25,000 Rand to get an Android. No, I can wake up tomorrow and be an Arsenal fan. Please, I won't. But I can. So they are trying to sell loyalty. And how do you do that? Through emotions. You don't need the big budgets and what that Adidas and Chelsea and Avengers have. Nobody's got 400 million for a marketing campaign. That would be nice. But if you can see how both of these connected emotionally, visually, I mean, you could put somebody in a dark corner and throw blue paint over them and it would actually be a quite entertaining video to watch. But that is the most important thing to remember when creating content. We have a room full of people, we've got music blaring, we've got some guacamole on the table, everything's great. Now we need them to stay there. We've attracted these people, we've given them something awesome, but now we need to get them to stay. So how do you do that? These are the types of content pieces that you put out and how you kind of act with, how you interact and act with them. So utility is very important. When I scroll through a feed, the content I remember the most is the ones that either taught me something or gave me something in terms of a new way of thinking or a life hack of some sort. So be a utility. Utility content is very important. Give them something. Then you entertain, because I'm going to remember that you made me laugh. inspire them, because that's going to make them come back. I have pages that I follow purely because I know on a bad day, I can open that page and 3 posts in, I'm going to feel better because it's got really beautiful inspirational content. And then listen to them. The amount of people that talk to the community but never listen. So on Empire, I was extremely fortunate when I was in the agencies. I worked on Fox Africa, the TV channel, alongside, they also had Nat Geo. So I did Nat Geo and Fox. And I was at Fox Africa at the time of Empire, the big TV show. And I got to spend a whole week with Taraji P. Henson and Terrence Howard when they came to South Africa. I think this was in 2013 odd. It was phenomenal. She's the most incredible human alive. I love her. But what we did with that campaign is we listened to the fans that was talking about the show every single week. And we started those conversations and we built that relationship with them, which ensured that they came back to us every single week to watch the show. And then we invited them to come and have lunch with Taraji to kind of to say thank you, not incentivize. They didn't know this. It was a complete surprise and delight. But we had that relationship where I picked up the phone. They first thought that I didn't look the way that I did because I was interacting with this very kind of hip hop style show. So they expected something completely different. But they pitched up at this lunch and they were so grateful. And you know what? They loved the brand forever, because we had that pre-existing relationship with them where we spoke to them every single week and we said, hey, it's almost Empire time. Are you joining us tonight? And then when Empire was finished, we'd expose them to the rest of our content on Fox. So sad it was the Empire finale tonight. But did you know Scream Queens are starting and it's really great. So maybe give it a try while we wait for the new season. So listen to them, see what they want. It's going to make it a lot easier when it comes to crisis control. So when it goes bad, you have an army of people that are already so loyal to you and you've built a relationship to that they sort out the rest of the people that are coming on there to complain. So if somebody's complaining about something, you'd often find that your community is managing itself and you have a self-sustaining community because you've put that effort into it and you've given the people a reason to stay at your party. If anybody comes in and goes, oh, this song sucks, somebody will jump in and go, don't worry, they'll play something nice in a few minutes. I've heard this playlist before. Or the guacamole is finished. Check the back cupboard, there's more in there. You'll have that community of people that are already in this living room having a jaw. So anybody coming in won't stand a chance. Okay, I have a quick case study. So Skydive Pretoria was a client of mine. I can't remember, it was just before COVID. And as much as they tried to throw me out of this perfectly working airplane, in the 2 years I worked with them, they couldn't convince me once. I'm petrified of this. So they're this great skydive company in Pretoria. And when I took over their content, we did exactly that. We created relatable and shareable content pieces that both educated and enticed people. So their number one business objective, get people in plane to throw them out at 15,000 feet. That plane had to take off on the weekends as much as it possibly could. That was the main business objective. So when I sat down with them, I said, let's show people that it's safe. Let's look at the kind of barrier to entry here, which is, for me, I'm going to die. So show me how I'm not going to die. And through this, we had short videos with some of the instructors. We had testimonials of people doing it, which created that FOMO. We had beautiful shareable content, which then created brand awareness. And with just two posts a week, like I'm saying, you don't need to post every day. 2 posts a week on both their platforms, which was Facebook and Instagram. And a little bit of an updated look and feel that immediately popped off the pages when you saw it. We saw a record 37 takeoffs in one weekend from one promoted post. I spent 300 Rand on that post. Not 3,000, not 300,000. 300 Rand on one promoted post. And She phoned me that Sunday or the Monday, and she said, my plane has never taken off this much in one weekend. Because the content was good, and we understood our audience well enough to know who we should spend that one tiny 300 Rand budget on. So the total community increased with over 300 followers and engagement with over 2,000 in just the first 3 months after implementing the new strategy. That is organic. It is really not, we spent money on that one post. But what we did was exactly what I was telling you now. And this was also a small business. We invested in our community. We did the proper platform research, and we spent time on creating content that was not only shareable, relatable, and easily kind of connected to people, but it showcased business objectives. It was rooted in business objectives. So that was my quick recap. And if my entire speech and song and dance, if there's one thing and kind of a golden thread within everything is figure outable. And that is what I would like to leave you with today.